Hello, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Crime with Kylie podcast. As you might have seen in the title already, today we are going to be talking about Alyssa Zinger. Alyssa has not been convicted on the charges yet, but I believe that there is more than enough evidence and information out there to compile into a video for you guys. The trigger warning for this video is that we are going to be talking about the sexual assault of children, so if that is not something you can stand to listen to today, no worries, and I will see you guys in another video. For this video, I have compiled every bit of information I could find on Alyssa Zinger. Before we get into the case, I wanted to talk about Alyssa today because I feel like not a lot of people talk about female predators, and not a lot of people are aware that females could do such vile things as well. It's always interesting for me when I talk about a female teacher who has sexually assaulted a male student or multiple male students, and a lot of the comments tend to be things like, lucky, the boy was lucky, I wish this happened at my age, that's not sexual assault, that's not rape. In fact, it is, and males can be victimized too. It's not just something that happens to young girls. It happens to children of all genders, ages, sexualities, and the predators also come in more than just males. I think that for a long time, female predators have taken advantage of this harmful stereotype because many of them will fly under the radar for years, and often it takes something very major to even make them out to be a suspect in the first place. Whereas if that person, that predator, was a male, in many cases it's obvious that if a male did that or was found out doing this, they would have been caught so much sooner. One of the females that's coming to mind right now is Laura Karen, and we've talked about her in short form on either Instagram or TikTok or YouTube Shorts. And Laura Karen was a 5th grade teacher. She had 2 students who were brothers at one point. She became family friends with them, and soon the boys and their sister, the sister did not have her as a teacher, but all 3 children would go over to her home, start spending the night, and then at some point, for whatever reason that has not been disclosed yet, all 3 children went to go live with her for a period of time, and she acted as a foster parent. However, behind the scenes, she was taking one of those brothers and she was violating him. When his siblings would wake up, he would be out of his bed, he would be in her bed. When he would go and take a shower, she would enter the bathroom and then lock the door behind her. And his other siblings were witnessing all of this, and nothing happened. And then the boy and his siblings were sent back to live with his parents. And she was only found out to be doing all of this because she gave birth to a son, and once the son turned 5 years old, the dad of those 3 children was like, wow, that boy looks a lot like my son, and he looks a lot like me. And then everything about the sexual assaults and how she would take advantage of him twice a week, that all started to come out, and the boy even admitted that the baby, the son, Laura Karen's son, was his son. So yeah, that took literal years to come to light. Years. Imagine if she moved away with the kid and cut off all contact. Would she have ever been caught? Those types of predators, especially who go after children and take advantage of their power positions over them, those are the people I want everyone to know about. Because as a parent, you need to be aware of all sorts of predators that are out there and know that they just don't come in one gender or one specific profile. Sorry for talking your ear off. Without further ado, let's talk about Alyssa. Alyssa Ann Zinger was born on January 15th of 2001, so she just recently, as of 2025, turned 24 years old. And according to some people who have commented on my TikTok saying that they went to high school with her, she was pretty weird. That's about the extent. I did reach out for further comment, but I have not gotten an answer back. But based off of the actions that we're about to talk about, I personally believe that. She grew up in Florida with her 2 parents and appears to be an only child. At the age of 21, she was still living with her parents, and she was working in the bakery section of a Publix grocery store. However, online, Alyssa claimed to be a much younger age. When she was 21, she was pretending to be a 14-year-old homeschooled girl. She created a Snapchat account for this and also a TikTok account. The TikTok video that you're seeing on the screen is one that Alyssa made of her dancing while pretending to be 14 years old. And as you know, with Snapchat can allow you to share your location, see others' locations, and not everyone, especially not younger children, are aware to turn that off. So Alyssa found a few boys who were near her. These boys went to Woodrow Wilson Middle School, and she kind of started to form multiple relationships with boys from this middle school, ages 13 to 15 years old. So boys who were a decade younger than her. Alyssa would date him for 4 months. And during this time that they were dating, she would even go over to this boy's house, as in his parents' house. She would meet the parents. She would have dinners over there. She would do all of these things pretending to be 14 years old and dating a 13 or 14-year-old boy. Because the victims are all minors, they're all anonymous, I only have age ranges for each one, but they're kind of all grouped together. But with this specific boy is what led to her arrest. So they're dating, and actually in July of 2023, she would have her first run-in with authorities with this boy that she was assaulting. And I guess they were at a mall in Florida. They went into a Nordstrom's and they both shoplifted. So she's also influencing this boy to do literal crimes while lying to him about her real age and identity. So both of them are taken to the police station and they are questioned, and I'm going to add that clip in here very shortly. But I will say that the boy's face is blurred out and some words are blurred out because he is a minor and we must protect his identity. So here's that clip.
Girlfriend, not your daughter? Okay. Have you contacted your parents?
Yeah, but I can't get a hold of their word.
Okay. Well, I gotta try to contact them. Because how old are you? 14. Yeah, so unless they tell me that I can release them, which I'm sure they will, but
Yeah,
I just,
you read my text.
for legality purposes, I mean, if you want to reach out to him just so I could speak with him, just obviously, you know, it's going to come with liability to me if anything was to happen.
My parents know I'm with him, so.
I understand that. But for my job and my purposes, I need to confirm that because you're a juvenile. So once your parents tell me that they're okay with you going with them, perfectly fine. Okay?
Straight to voicemail.
Straight to voicemail. You have a sister named Alyssa?
Yeah, I have sister.
A half sister?
Yeah.
Okay, but you don't have the same middle name, I'm assuming?
I don't know. I don't have anyone else my dad, my parents know like I'm with him.
I'm going to document that you're going home with them.
Okay.
I tried to get in contact with your parents. You made efforts. So, like I said, it's just for liability reasons. So you're Alyssa. What's your middle name?
I'm just Alyssa Zinger.
Just Alyssa Zinger. Okay. All right.
But like my mom was already gonna come pick me up at his house later anyway. My stuff's there. So.
All right. So Alyssa, you're gonna go home with. You have any questions? No? We're not gonna do this again? Sure? Dad told me you make money. And you could have spent $100. Right? Alright man, this is one shot. You get one shot to do this program. After this, there's no more. So let's just make smart choices, okay? Alright, sir. Take care.
I truly do not know how Alyssa ended up talking her way out of this one, but essentially the officer looked up her name in the database and she did tell him her true name. She said that her name was Alyssa Zinger, but she said that she was born in 2009. They would have added up and would have made her 14 years old. However, when he looked her up, Alyssa Zinger did pop up, but it was an Alyssa Zinger born in 2001. And Alyssa, in response to this, basically just said that she had a half-sister who shared the exact same name as her, and for whatever reason, the police officer bought it. I don't know about you, but when I was 14 years old, I did not look like that. That to me looks like someone my age, which she is, and I don't get it. I do not get how they did not find that immediately suspicious, especially because then he asked if she called her parents, and she said that they weren't home or they weren't picking up or something like that. And so they sent her and the underage boy, the victim, home with his dad. His dad came and picked them both up from the police station, and they basically just got a slap on the wrist and were told, not to do that again. Otherwise, there would be consequences next time. So that was May. So that was July. So that was July of 2023. But by May of 2023, things were on the rocks, okay? Their little, I don't even want to call it a relationship. Her assault of him lasted for 4 months. So that incident happened July of 2023. The first time she was known to get in contact with these boys, and that boy in particular, was May of 2023. And I don't even want to call it a relationship. The duration of which she sexually assaulted that one specific boy who she was dating was 4 months. So let's flash forward July, August, September. Let's go September of 2023. At this point, according to the boy, they had engaged in sexual acts around 30 times. And this also included sending photos and videos back and forth to each other through Snapchat. But basically, the boy wanted to go and date another girl. He wanted to get with someone his own age. Of course, he had no idea that Alyssa wasn't his own age, but he wanted to go get with a girl who was his own age. And Alyssa was not happy about this. She was furious. And, she'd already befriended all these other boys on Snapchat who went to that same middle school. And she happened to have a video of her raping the boy. So she started sending out to other friends of his, possibly, or it's implied at least, that other girl, like his new girlfriend, revenge porn of, her and that boy. And so she's disseminating. So she's committing multiple crimes at this point. Rape of a minor, making porn of a minor, and then sharing that aforementioned porn. So that's just a pretty messed up person, if you ask me. Some people are just claiming mental illness all the way, but we don't tend to do that with male predators and go, oh, he was just mentally ill. Let's give him a little bit of a break and get him the help we need. No, we lock them away. So I'm kind of like, I'm supporting equality here because that's messed up no matter how you look at it. Especially when you find out that there were more than one victim and her parents were supporting, or at least allowing this all to happen. To me, at least, it's messed up no matter how you view it. There were multiple victims. She knew what she was doing. She didn't have moments of insanity. This was very deliberate. So everything for Alyssa came crashing down by November of 2023. That was the first time she was arrested. And because the boy had to come forward and tell a trusted authority figure, had to come forward and tell his parents, because I don't know how else he would have been able to deal with the fact that someone was sharing these very sensitive videos of him. So law enforcement get involved. They come to her house. They arrest her. They reach out to her employer at the Publix grocery store and confirm that she is a grown adult woman. In fact, not a 14-year-old girl. They confirm this. And then there's this video where part of it's come out, part of it's still redacted, but they go over to her parents' house in order to collect her electronics and also search the house, search her bedroom for any evidence. And her dad does make a very strange comment about going into her bedroom and seeing that that's where it happened. But also her dad ends up blaming the 14-year-old boy, saying that his daughter's the true victim, basically saying that the boy is insane and that it was his bad influence on his daughter that caused all of this. And then when authorities asked for Alyssa's phone, he gave them his wife's phone. He gave authorities Alyssa's mom's phone that had not made a call since 2021. So right now they've been accused of tampering with evidence. I don't think there's any charges against them currently, but that's what happened. And we will play some of those clips of her dad talking to officers. You'll see her dad try to basically appeal to the emotions of the officers and be like, oh, don't you guys have kids too? It's just so hard on us. Yeah, here you go.
Yes, the detective said nobody can go in the house.
Okay.
So
that's weird because I talked to my lawyer and he says you guys aren't under arrest. You guys aren't.
There's a search warrant for that. She told me she got a search warrant and nobody's allowed in the house.
For the phone or for my home?
Nobody's allowed in the house.
Who is in the house, so that
Right. So that's why I came over because I know it's your house, but we can't let you go in the house.
We want we've been, like, he knows, completely 100% cooperative in
No, I
every
understand.
way, shape, or form. But we want to make sure that you guys are doing the right thing too.
No, absolutely.
And first off,
And we have body cameras, so
right, and first off,
your lawyer can request anything.
perfect. And first off, we, like I said, we've from the get-go been doing nothing but being 100% cooperative.
Right, but the detective called me and said they're on the way to you.
Yeah.
They cannot go in the house.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
Police wouldn't allow Zinger's parents to enter the home until a detective arrived with a warrant.
We're not in the chase. We're not running.
but that's where we're at. I know it sucks.
No,
But
hey, this situation sucks. Me not going in my home right now, that's the
I know
least of my worries. I got a beautiful young daughter that's in a, this shouldn't be happening. She's got a lot of problems and mental issues and stuff, and it just sucks that, I don't know if you have kids, but
yeah, we have 2 kids. I have 2 kids, yeah.
you can imagine.
I'm sorry to hear that, by the way.
Well,
so.
I mean, she got messed up with the wrong kid. Even though he's a lot younger, he is, put it this way, my daughter, my wife works for the federal government, 38 years, never been in trouble in her life, not a single thing. My daughter, the same thing. Me, stupid little shit when I was a kid. But we're good, honest people, hardworking people, and she just she'd never been in trouble in her life for nothing, but she met a kid, and even though he's young, that's why we're in this situation, she never been in trouble in her life until she was starting dealing with him. And this kid's like insane. Like I said, my daughter's never been in trouble in her life. This kid is 14 years old. He's got girls at his house videotaping them, making porn at 14 and shit. And my daughter's 21 or 22. She was a virgin until she was 21. We got this kid being a freaking, this unbelievable.
I don't know the details or anything.
I know. I'm just what's the gist of it? And, it sucks. It's horrible.
Absolutely. I'm sure it's a terrible situation.
Now, initially following her arrest, because there was just one victim, she was released temporarily. However, after her arrest, other victims of her started to hear about her and realize, oh, we were assaulted by a full-grown woman, and they came forward, contacted authorities. So now, from November of 2023 to April of 2024, 4 more victims have come forward, all between the ages of 12 and 15 years old, in addition to that first boy. So there's 5 victims total that we know about, and just like with the boy who she dated, she would reach out to these boys on Snapchat, TikTok, etc. They went to that middle school in Tampa, Florida, and she would send them explicit pictures and videos, and of course ask for explicit pictures and videos in return. With one of those victims, who was 14 years old, Alyssa convinced him that she was 16 years old, but at the time she was 21. With Alyssa's first arrest, she was booked into Hillsborough County Jail on 2 counts of lewd battery and 5 counts of lewd molestation. But in April of 2024, when she was rearrested and denied bond after more victims came forward, her charges increased. She was then charged with 2 counts of lewd battery, possession of child pornography, in-state transmission of child pornography by electric device, and sexual cyber harassment. Now, Alyssa will be sitting in jail until her trial. I do not know exactly when her trial will be, but I'm assuming sometime this year in 2025. When Alyssa went to go ask a judge to set bail for her, this is what she was wearing, and at first I was very confused. I don't know about you guys, but I have never seen this kind of dress thing before, so I looked it up. Last year in 2024, Alyssa was reportedly on mental health watch while she's in custody. And what this garment is a suicide prevention smock or gown. The garment was invented in 1989, and they are 100% fire retardant. The pattern apparently prevents people from being able to tear it and turn it into ropes. And they're primarily used in hospitals, prisons, and mental health and behavioral care facilities. And they're intended to be worn by high-risk inmates only. Here are a few clips from that hearing, but as far as I can tell, that was the last thing that was reported on, I believe, June of 2024.
You showed no regard for the safety of these young boys. You've been preying upon them. You have been taking advantage of them. You have been abusing them.
Were they adults or minors?
Minors. Who, as growing up, had significant developmental issues, emotional issues, self-esteem issues, bullying issues.
Nothing about that. gives rise to any basis for this woman to misrepresent her age, to pretend to be a homeschooled child, to cultivate and pursue child victims for her own sexual gratification.
Problem here. Your actions on these boys are illegal.
If there are any more updates with Alyssa Zinger, if a trial date is set, I will let you guys know, and I will see you guys next time.